Beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. I guess you can call it a podcast. We are here to talk about RHOA, Real Housewives of Atlanta. Your girl is on a roll. Okay, she is getting these videos out today. Yes, ma'am, and yes, sir. If you have not already, please like, comment, and subscribe. I would love to have you be a part of the Beautiful People family. And let's get to it, you guys. It's not going to be that long because not a lot happened till the very end. All right, so we have Kenya, and she's looking at a venue for Brooklyn's birthday party, her third birthday party, and apparently she loves making tea. So she's gonna have a tea party. Very cute. So she has this cute little lady named Monet helping her out. She's her party planner. She's letting her know what she wants, what she doesn't want. They sit down. Monet is letting her know that the party is falling in between, 10 and 15,000. And King is like, okay, well, I like the 10,000 a little bit better because she's like, I'm going through a divorce. And then she's like, and my husband isn't going to help me out. Girl, just call him Brooklyn's dad. Like, why are you still calling him your husband? King is still like that man. And she's like, well, and I still want to put her through college. And I'm sure a lot of people will clown her because 10 to 15,000 is not a whole heck of a lot of money, but for a third birthday party, it kind of is, And she's like, oh, she's gonna remember this forever, and I'm like, no, she's not gonna remember it at all, probably. Take a lot of pictures, but I ain't mad at her for wanting to only spend 10,000 on a kid's party. All right, so then we have Sheree working out, and she's saying how Marlo is meeting her there, and the trainer is familiar, and he's like, it's been a while since I've seen her. I was looking at this shirt Sheree got on. It has like where it looks like Google, but it says joggers, and then in the little search bar, it has She by Sheree, and and then at the bottom it has the I'm feeling lucky, or the whole Google thing, and it's cute, I think. I was trying to understand it though. I was just like, why is Google joggers? And then like I don't understand it. I think maybe I would wear it as kind of a joke because of the whole joggers thing in the Shiba Charade, but I don't understand the concept of why the Google, why the search engine, why, like, I don't get it. If somebody can help me out, maybe I'm just being very, very slow today. Maybe I've done way too many videos, watched way too much reality TV, but I couldn't make, anyway, pass the shirt. So what's her name? Marlo gets there, and it's an ongoing joke that she's not really working out. So Marlo is asking about, them being shady at her party, this and that. And she's like, listen, it's a good idea. We were just giving you some tips or whatever. Good idea, but you're going to have a very niche clientele. And that's what she wants, basically. She's like, I'm not for everybody. I kind of just want people in the industry, which, um, is that strange? It's not strange, but I don't know, like it makes sense a little bit, but kind of her prices don't, because after you break it down, it's like, why not just go buy the real thing? Like, why are you renting it and it's not that super expensive? I don't know. But she tells her that she wants to be like in Tyler Perry Studios. She wants people to rent it for movies, this and that. And then Sheree is saying that Cairo works at Tyler Perry Studios in wardrobe. And she never put that together. Like, I was waiting on Marlo to be like, oh, cool, a way in, or tell him, something. I don't know. Maybe she just wasn't, trying to be an opportunist. But to me, it just kind of lined up perfectly. But okay. So then she's talking about how she's taking acting classes so she can be with Drew and Kenya, and because she really is an actress, but she don't talk about it. Check her IMDb, but she didn't say it right. You guys, Marlo is just annoying. Like, I feel like she's just putting on big time for the camera, and we're just not getting her authentic self. Even though it's hard to know if we ever got her authentic self, but all of this that she's doing, it's like constant, too much, too much, too much. She's on constantly, and it's too much to keep up with. It's not even funny to this point. Like, everything she's saying, it's just, girl, she should have several. So then Marlo lets Sheree know that Candy told her they have the same assistant, her and Drew, and the assistant is going around saying she doesn't pay her bills, and what's her name? Sheree is saying that Kenya told her the same thing. So now she's actually mad that Candy didn't call and tell her, and it's kind of just going around. I don't know. That kind of, I mean, I get it, but then I don't. But Candy definitely told Drew, you need to call Sheree. So then why would she call Sheree? And are Candy and Sheree really that cool? Like, are they really? So Marlo's in her confessional talking about, the street says that what's her name? Sheree doesn't pay her bills, and a good thing I ain't never gave her no money because I'm gonna get my money back. And that's my whole thing. Like, you can't trust Marlo as far as you can see her. Like, she's smiling all in your face, and then in the confessional behind your back, she's doing what I'm sure she would consider fun shade, but it's just constant. So yeah, she's upset that Candy didn't say anything, talking about they have a relationship, and Marlo is just egging it on. Why would she not tell you? Did Drew tell you? No, Drew ain't told me nothing. And she's like, Anthony didn't told me all kind of stuff about Drew, her husband, her household. And then she take a sip, with this smile on her face. And I'm like, okay, but he's telling your shit too. Like, you saying it like, he's doing something on your team. I don't know. I just feel like it's all stupid in actuality. The whole thing is just stupid. But for her to be happy that she knows some news about Drew, but then don't think that Drew knows some extra personal stuff about her, girl, bye to you. Talking about some girl, bye to Candy. She said Candy definitely don't like when people talk about her. And it's true. I mean, who does? So Marlo's going on and on about how Kenya sent a text for Brooklyn's birthday party. Tell me at least send some tea. And Sheree is like, oh yeah, because she said something about your invite. And yeah, girl, you cute little invite, cute little idea. That's fine, but you could have gave her an iPad. And it was funny because I wasn't the only one who thought that way. Why you got this girl running around with a whole laptop? So she does all this going on and on about Kenya, and then when Sheree says, "Why are you going to the party?" Oh yeah, I'm gonna go and support Brooklyn. Yeah. I'm like, what? So then Sheree owns up to the fact that I told her what you said about the white appliances, and also, Lisa Ray's car. Oh yeah, y'all. Before I move on from them, I forgot to mention that as they were sitting on the mats or whatever, Marlo bringing up the whole thing with spoiling these boys again, and yeah, that's her lame ass storyline. So it's super lame. I swear to God, she needs to come with something else. Who cares if your kids are spoiled? Who gives a shit? Then we get to Candy and Todd. She's talking and she's FaceTiming her agent or whatever. He's telling her that the ticket sales are up for Thoughts of a Colored Man or whatever. Todd comes in. Once again, they go back and forth about the work. And Todd feels like he doesn't get credit when he works with her. So she asks if he's bitter about that, and he says no. Then in her confessional, she's like, yeah, but I think he's bitter. So that's their storyline. It's lame. It really is. Like, how many years has he been saying he feels neglected or whatever, and to kind of back off? She hasn't done it. I guess she's not going to do it. I don't know that this is really a serious problem for them. So we can move on from this. And I think they were talking about how they don't really do anything, maybe 2 or 3 times a week. And I'm like, that ain't good. Yeah, let's move on from them. So then we have Drew and her assistant coming into the store looking for a gift for Brooklyn. And she's like, yeah, I looked up this store. It's cute. Got everything for girls. And the assistant's walking in like, oh my God, I do. I love it. I love the atmosphere. I love everything up in here. He just does too much. Y'all, the name of this show needs to be We Just All Doing Too Much right now. They are. But so she's talking about how her and Kenya decided to start over, and I guess she's getting Brooklyn a book, a microphone, and something else or whatever, kind of Beyonce esque. I don't know what it is, but it ended up costing $200, and she's like, "Oh, I'm spending $200 on this little girl," because she was talking about how she's gonna really go big for Brooklyn. And I'm like, "Girl, do you really know how to really go big?" Because that whole Christmas gift swap or whatever, you were terrible. She's terrible. Y'all, Drew is a waste of space on this show. She really is. But she's talking to him about Sheree and how, she was talking to her. And he's like, oh my God, really? Really? Well, let me tell you something. I love Sheree down. Like, I love her. That's my girl, but she don't pay. So they going back and forth once again about Sheree. And it's like, okay, we get it. We get it. So then, very randomly, Sonya FaceTimes Drew crying, all upset because she just got into an accident with an 18 wheeler that was dragging her, and Ross is out of town. So she needs Drew to come get her. Very random. Her mom's in town, her sister is living there again. I don't know, I guess it was for the show. But when they got there and they're putting the car up to take the car away, to tow the car away, it looked like, listen, I'm not going to try to downplay her accident. I'm sure it was very scary. Apparently, she said she thought she was going to die or whatever. But it just looked like the back light was out. Or like he hit her in the back, like real quick. And that was it. I don't know. But again, it was just very random that she called Drew. Drew and the assistant went there, and then she was all upset, and then all of a sudden it was all laughter. Like, I gotta go get my kid, and you're my chauffeur for the day, and it was all laughs. Okay. So they go pick up the kid. So random. All right, so then we see Sonya and Ross, and he's back in town. She's talking to him about what he was away doing, and apparently they opened up a luxury limousine service or whatever. And what's it called? Ross Elite or something. And she said that when COVID hit, they lost some drivers, lost some business. So he's trying to, pick the business back up or whatever. And he's saying that he loved doing it. It's just a lot of work. He's real tired. So she's talking to him about the accident and how scared she was. And he's like, yeah, because you was all super crying and hysterical when you called me. And yeah, they're cute. Their little boy is adorable with his little dimples. All right, we are now at the venue, and Lil Monet did her thing because it's beautiful. She did a really good job. Cute little tea settings and everything, adorable. And Kenya is there. It's 12:30, and I'm only mentioning that because I think everybody's gonna be real late. But yeah, she did a good job. Kenya looks cute. She got on her black and white, and yeah, let's start the party. So I'm not a fan of the way Kenya has her hair. I'm not a fan of it. It's just like real bushy at the top. I don't like it. But we get a flashback of Brooklyn when she was little and everything, and her and Kenya in the tub, and Kenya, I guess, putting her under the water. But all this soap, she comes up with all this soap right by her eyes, and I'm like, that was less than smart. But yay, Brooklyn's about to be 3. Time is flying, y'all. So people started coming in at 2. And Sheree was like the first housewife that came. And I'm like, why is she inviting all these grown people to this baby party? Like, I guess we know why for the show. However, I'm grown. I'm not coming to a baby party at all. I'm not coming to a baby party. Like, I'm just not. But oh, and speaking of, when Marlo was in the kitchen with her nephew, she's like, yeah, Brooklyn's having this party, little tea party. Do y'all want to go? And they're like, yeah, no. And I'm like, yeah, that's the same thing they would have said if you'd have been like, oh, you want to go to Candy Burris' house to play with her 2 and 3 year old or whatever. No, these little boys don't want to play with these babies. So Sheree is asking Kenya if Drew's gonna be there, and she's like, "Yeah." And she starts laughing, like, "Oh, you trying to find out about that situation?" She's like, "Yeah." She's like, "Well, don't do it right off the bat. Have some drinks or whatever." And Sheree is like, "That's gonna make it even worse." And I'm like, all of this at a kid party, and Kenya's not saying no, don't do it here today. Don't do it at this party. She's just saying, wait a little while. And I'm sure it's, oh, she says, wait until we sit down to dinner and all that. Like, she wants to be there. She don't want you to do it when she's not there. So Drew comes in and it's very weird. She gives Sheree this little phony kiss or whatever, and then Sheree in the confessional is like, "Yeah, okay, I'm keeping my eye on you." But she has on a white dress like the pink one Kenya wore at Brooklyn's, I guess, second birthday party, and it's really weird. Like Kenya was like, "So is she stalking my Instagram so that she can dress, very weird. Drew is a space cadet. She's a liar and a space cadet. So Drew is telling Sanya, you don't even know what I've been going through. And then we see a flashback of 3 days ago, her and her guy arguing, and I guess he's sleeping in the kids' room, and he's like, no, because I tried to do something nice for you, and it was like you spit in my face. And then she brings out a receipt asking about the two drinks. He's like, I went out with my boy. She looked like she's crying. Break up. Just break up and get off the show, please and thank you. Bullshit. Okay, so upon looking back, the lady who storms out later on, talking about this is a kid's party, when she first get there and she's talking to Kenya, Kenya's trying to tell her, what they have and everything, and she's like, "Listen, honey, I don't give a shit, but cause you have Vouv, I guess it's some kind of drink, and I'm all over it." And I'm like, "Did you just say I don't give a shit? Like really, like lady?" But then she was so self-righteous when she's leaving, talking about it's a kid party. And yeah, I probably would have did that too. I ain't gonna lie. No, I wouldn't have stormed out. I just would have took my kid and left. Y'all, I didn't allow cursing around my baby. And I don't know why I said it like that lady, the way she talked. But I didn't allow cursing around my baby. There were certain songs that my baby was not allowed to hear, especially the Nelly Getting Hot in Here. It's somewhere I can't remember, but that's the main one. But yeah, I mean, they did a lot, but I'm jumping ahead, so we'll go back. So Marlo comes in and she's like, "Is anyone going to greet me?" "Oh, I guess not." And I'm like, of course she's going to find any fault with this party. Of course she is. Who cares that nobody's there to greet you? So then we hear Kenya saying, "Everybody, Brooklyn's coming." So everybody's looking at the door. And as we're looking at the door, who comes in? It's Blaze and Ace and Candy. And everybody's looking like, huh? She's like, "Why everybody looking at us?" Well, because Brooklyn's coming in. So she's like, "Oh crap." So they turn around. Brooklyn comes in. She looked cute, but Kenya was dressed better than her daughter at her own birthday party. I just feel like what Kenya had on was more of a baby outfit that she could have put on the baby. And I just wasn't understanding the whole super souped up jacket that Brooklyn had on. I mean, of course she looked very pretty, but did they ever take the jacket off? I don't know, but yeah, it was a lot. And again, Kenya looked more babyfied than the baby. Yeah, I forgot to mention when Monyetta Shaw came, and she came in like jeans and a red leather jacket or whatever. Talking about she dressed down. Yeah, you are, and it's disrespectful. Girl, you heard it was a tea party. You know how you're supposed to dress for a tea party. What the hell you got? Like it was disrespectful. I would have been mad. I ain't even gonna lie. Like it was a tea party. But anyway, so when Candy comes or whatever after Brooklyn comes in, they're talking, and King is pissed off, talking about, "Yeah, you're so late." And Candy's trying to explain why she was late. Yeah, had to give her, let her sleep and this and that or whatever. And Kenya just cuts her off, like, "Okay, girl, we ain't got time for all your excuses." And Candy's like, "Oh, okay." And I'm just like, Candy always late, always late. So why are you so offended? All right, so she cut her off and said we about to start this little party, and her and Monet running around with these little index cards and paper, telling people to write their tea down, but don't put your name on it. And Candy's like, "At a kids party?" And me too. It's called What's the Tea or whatever, and I'm like, this is a freaking kids party, so it was stupid. But we know what it's for. It's for the show, but it was just so out of place. Yeah, so then we have a small segment where we see all the people talking to the kids and everything or whatever. And Sonya is running around. What's her son's name? Deuce. He is running her ragged. And she's like, "Oh my God, I'm going to call your dad. You're going to get in trouble." She was just ready for him to go. She really was. And she's like, "You don't want to do this. You don't want to do that." He's like, "I just don't want to do it. I don't want to do nothing." And she is very irritated, talking about calling his dad to get him in trouble. And moms like that drive me crazy because you got to learn how to deal with your own kid. What is that whole, "Oh, I'm going to call your dad"? No, no, sir. I'm going to deal with you. But she's saying, listen, she couldn't have two of them. I guess not right now. And I'm going to have to agree with her. She looked all out of sorts trying to deal with him. So first they start off with Brooklyn trivia, and didn't know don't nobody know the answers to these little crazy questions. When did she first start walking? What was the first word she said? Her middle name. People don't know this, Kenya. These people are not that good of friends with you. I mean, maybe some of the other people that were there. Where's Cynthia? Maybe Cynthia would have known. Are they even friends anymore? But so then we move on to the other one, and everybody was just kind of saying that it's kind of really inappropriate for a kid's party. They just didn't understand. And she's in the confessional, Kenya, like, I know it's a kid's party, but it's an adult table, so let's say adult things. Let's talk. But I could swear there was some kids at that table. When that lady walked out, there was another lady there with a kid at that table. But okay, Kenya. So we start out with Candy. Candy reads, Candy sucked dick in the locker room. She's like, what? And I'm like, what are the chances that she goes first and she pulls her own card talking about her? So then of course she's pissed off. She wants to know who said that. Who said that? And Moneta, who said that? Girl, Moneta Shaw, please. If y'all trying to get this girl on this show, it's gonna be a no. Okay? It's gonna be a no. Cause when it was time for Brooklyn to cut that freaking cake and sing happy birthday, her kid was going crazy. And I'm like, Moneta Shaw, take your kid out. This is a very crucial time when they are singing happy birthday. So no thanks to Moneta Shaw. But and she was doing it on purpose. Who said that? Doing the Portia thing. Now we do say that. We do. But not on the show. But yeah, then we go to commercial with Candy kind of holding it in the air like who put this card out? And they never really say, but it was probably Kenya. Kenya was like, I didn't write the card, but she always has like this smirk on her face. We have what's her name? Uh I always say what's her name for her. Sheree. She's in the confessional talking about I don't even know why she's mad. She sucked dick everywhere else, so why not the locker room? What's she so offended by? And then, Kenya's saying move on. So I think it was probably Kenya. All right, so the next shady comment was I couldn't order on Lay Archive. The site had no content. There was nothing there. Now that was funny. And Marlo's like, you can't order on the site. You have to email us, and then we email you a survey, and we see if we want to be bothered with you or not. Girl, that don't make no sense. What are you talking about, Marlo? So then we get into Kenya confronting Marlo about the Lisa Ray thing and the white refrigerator thing or whatever. And she's like, well, that's what the street said. And Kenya's like, listen, you are driving a used Rolls Royce. That's a lie. I bought my Rolls Royce new. Who cares? And Candy even said it too. She's like, her eyes rolling in the back of her head, like, aren't we tired of this? Like, this whole Marlo, Kenya back and forth all the time, every time. Are we not tired of it? And I'm like, yes, we are. We really are. And y'all, I'm sorry. I need a little bit more from real. I need some real beef, some real drama, some real something from them because all of this is petty and it's just kind of making no sense. I need for it to be more realistic, all of this. This whole kid party with shady questions for the adults is just coming off very made up, very just for TV. I need Real Housewives of Atlanta to be more authentic. Like, what's going on here? So then we get someone doesn't pay their assistants, and everybody's like, what? So, y'all, I'm trying to stick with it in terms of not just every second being like how phony this is coming off, but it just is, y'all. I'm sorry. But oh my God, what? And then Drew is like, wow, that's what I heard. And I'm like, okay, nobody else said who said the card. So what made her say she's the one who even wrote that down? Like now that it's gotten around to everybody, it could have been a number of people who wrote that down just trying to be funny. But Drew is a dumbass. So she tells that it was her because, it was probably in the story. And they go back and forth. Yeah, so then Drew tells her that the assistant told her he didn't, he had to cut ties because she wasn't paying. She's like, okay, well, let me tell you. And Drew is giving her best little acting performance. Oh, I'm just telling you what I heard. Don't shoot the messenger. And I'm like, girl, can you just be regular? She's the one messing it up for everybody, honestly. If she could act more, just act like it's reality, then we would buy it a little bit more. She's the one and only actress. Shade to Kenya. Just kidding. But she's supposed to be an actress or whatever, and she's actually the one messing up the whole thing because of her terrible acting. So Sheree is trying to explain, and she's saying that he never got paid because he wasn't her assistant. So Sheree is trying to talk and explain, and Drew is constantly like, "Well, he said that he was trying to help you with the line, and you didn't pay, and he has emails from She by Sheree," and she's trying to explain, and Sheree finally says, "If you would just shut the fuck up and let me talk." She's like, "Ah, why are you so turned up? Calm down." Like when I tell y'all, Drew is just acting, and it's terrible. Y'all go back and look. I'm not just making this up to complain. She's messing up our show. But anyway, I was happy that Sheree told her to shut up. Y'all, so out of nowhere, this lady in red that they put at the bottom is Sheree's friend. When I tell you I got my life, she just said, "Hey, isn't that the same guy that's been harassing you, trying to be your assistant, but you don't want to talk to him because he's talking about her and her husband and saying that her husband's gay?" Everybody's like, "What?" And Drew is like, "What?" And then she's like, "What we're not going to do is talk about my husband. We're not going to talk about my husband." Y'all, I died laughing at the way this lady said it so matter of fact. "Yeah, and he just said that your husband's gay." So listen to what Drew said, you guys. Drew said, "What you're not going to do is talk about my husband in that light because you don't know me, this and that or whatever." And she's like, "Who is this lady? And you should stop talking." The lady's like, "Don't tell me what to do." And I was all here for this lady because Drew didn't know this was coming. Now, she wasn't acting right here, you guys. She was mad for real. She's like, "You need to shut up." Yeah, she didn't know that was coming. Okay, so as they're arguing, the lady jumps up. "Oh, there's kids here. This is embarrassing. There's kids here. I'm leaving." And then Kenya's like, "Guys, keep it down. Don't do that." No, no, ma'am. You the one that wanted this. You started this. You wanted this, so let it happen. Don't be embarrassed now. And then Marlo's like, "Girl, don't be inviting your white friends, your bougie white friends that don't understand." And then she gonna turn to the other white lady and say, "See, you cool though." Y'all can't take Marlo nowhere. But the lady in red had me cracking up when she's like, "What are you so mad for? It's your assistant who's running around doing all this." Yeah, so then Sheree started talking and she's like, "I thought you was cool at first when I first met you." She's like, "But now I see, oh, this is a dizzy bitch." And then Drew is like, "Did you just call me a dizzy bitch?" She said, "I did, bitch." And then Drew is like, "Bitch." And then Kenya's like, "Guys, no, Kenya, shut up. This is what you wanted." So now y'all get this. Kenya's like, "There's kids here. Don't raise your voice." And Candy's like, "We shouldn't have played this at a kid's game." She's like, "Yeah, it's true. It was just supposed to be fun shade." And then she's like, "But Drew, you didn't even get what this lady here said." And I'm like, "So you're jumping right back in." Kenya was jumping right back into it, talking about stop. But she tells her what she says, and then Drew is like, "Who said that? When did she say that?" She said that. That was the whole point. And Drew heard her. Y'all, Drew is a liar. Drew is a liar. How are you now suddenly trying to act like you didn't hear exactly what she said when you said don't talk about your husband in that light? So, what light were you talking about earlier? Drew is a liar. She's a liar. Oh. So Candy's telling Drew you should be more upset about the what the assistant is saying than the lady who's telling you or whatever. And she looks at Candy and she's like, "I did take your advice and he's on probation." And then Candy's like, "Probation? After what he said about you?" And I'm like, "Candy, you should calm down because you weren't trying to fire nobody. And what did Chandrika say about you and Todd? Y'all don't give a shit about y'all employees or y'all place of business. So how are you gonna tell her what she needs to do, but you don't do what you need to do? So you should calm down." All right, so they sing happy birthday, and Brooklyn is just so adorable, and she's such a good sport. Like, even though the baby's crying and all that or whatever, she's just smiling, having a good time. She's running through there, having a good time with her friends, and little Blaze in there running. So Marlo starts talking as they're standing around, and she's like, "Me and Kenya get back into, we get into it, go back and forth or whatever, but it's nothing like this whole thing with the assistant, and you could have just told her or whatever." And Drew is like, "And she could have just told me that he's talking about my husband." And Sheree looked at her and said, "Go ahead. I'm not talking to this little girl. Just keep talking. I'm not talking to her." And Drew starts talking, and of course they start arguing again. So Candy jumps in with a joke about somebody saying something about her, and she's still mad, and she just laughing. And Sheree's like, "Yeah, me and you need to have a conversation." And she's like, "What? You mad at me? Now I'm in trouble." Yeah, you should have stayed out of it, Candy, and you were running around telling people. So Sheree is talking to Candy, and she's like, "Yeah, I would have expected you to say something to me because I have a relationship with you. I don't know her." And she kept calling her her. And Drew was like, "My name is Drew. You don't have to call me her." And Sheree's like, "Yeah, her." And then Drew starts in with Sheree, and everybody's trying to tell her to stop because Drew don't know when to stop. She does too much. Y'all, so then Drew got it all the way twisted. She started doing her hand in Sheree's face or whatever, and everybody is trying to step in between. So in the confessional, Sonya's like, "This is a side of Drew I ain't never seen before." And she was like, her putting her hands all in Sheree's face, and she's like, "She picked the wrong one. I wouldn't even put my hands in Sheree's face." And I'm like, you talking to an Olympic gold medal winner, and she's talking about she wouldn't fool with Sheree. So then everyone started saying how she would get beat down by Sheree, and she would. Did I say gold medalist? I don't know. But then we hear what's her name? Candy telling her, "Didn't you hear she got a strong right hook?" And she was like, "I got a strong everything. Let her feel that strong right hook." So then she's talking to Kenya, and she's like, "But I was talking with my hands." And Kenya said, "Your hands will get you a beat down." Yeah, I really enjoyed all of them telling her she was gonna get her ass beat playing with Sheree like that because she don't know. And I think it's because Sheree wasn't on last week. She feels like she can come on and do this whole bullying thing or whatever. But Sheree's an OG, so how you think you're gonna come in and bully an OG is just not gonna happen. Not to mention, did you see Sheree's body when she was working out? Sheree is not nothing to mess with. So yeah, I think Drew is probably gonna learn after this. Don't play with Sheree. But anyway, that was the end of the episode. And if you are still here, you are the real MVP. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video. Smooches.